What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again for the first time in a while, it seems, in the comfy corner of my room where I have the whiteboard out and just doing a normal BFR video. Because that's what we have today. Game 44 at the St. Louis Blues in St. Louis. 7 o'clock game and January 21st. Hawks win 5-3 as they've won 6 of their last 7 somehow, including back-to-back on the road. They go to 14, 26, and 4. Phillips was in, Mitchell was out. Shots were 32-18 St. Louis. Hits were 33-17 Chicago. Faceoffs were 26-24 St. Louis. Power play, Chicago goes 0 for 2. St. Louis goes 1 for 4. Jackson Stauber, in his NHL debut. Hawks rookie goalie, first year actually in the pros. He's been in Rockford. First ever start, and he saves 29 out of 32. First Blackhawk to win in their debut since Colin Delia back in 2018. Binnington saves 3 of 7 before being replaced by Grice who saves 10 out of 11. The Blues had points in the last 11 versus Chicago, and the Blues were in their alternates, their lighter blue jerseys, which I like more than their regular home jerseys. The Blues were also without Tarasenko and O'Reilly, so they've since December 29th, when the Hawks played them last and lost 3-1, they were also out then. So see if they get better anytime soon, because the way it's looking like the Blues aren't going to make the playoffs the way they are playing right now. Early in the first, Falk and Shen are denied. Barbashev is robbed. Shen's stopped. Kyrie's wide. It's all Blues. 10 minutes in, shots are 6-0 St. Louis. But at 13:29, it's a Chicago penalty to Entwistle for tripping, which would be killed. Neighbors has a chance that's covered, and at 9:33, on the first shot the Hawks get of the game. It's a one-timer goal from Jason Dickinson, his 5th of the season, from Lafferty and Seth Jones to make it 1-0. Then 8:31, it's a Chicago penalty to McCabe for tripping, which would be killed. But on the second shot, while shorthanded, it's a Chicago shorthanded breakaway goal from Sam Lafferty, 6th of the season, from Dickinson to make it 2-0. So Lafferty and Dickinson have multi-point nights already. With 2 minutes to go, St. Louis Binnington gets his first save in the first. Neighbors is denied. Then at 35.4 seconds, it's a St. Louis penalty to Thomas for tripping, which would be killed. You go to the second period where Thomas is denied as the Hawks start the period with 1 minute and 25 seconds of power play time, which would all be killed off. But at 18 minutes exactly, it's a Chicago tap-in goal to make it 3-0. It's Reese Johnson with goals in back-to-back games. 4th of the season from Blackwell and Entwistle. It's a great pass by Blackwell for Reese Johnson just to tap it in. It's 3-0 Hawks. 17-13, it's a Chicago penalty to McCabe for tripping, and this time the Blues score 7 seconds into the power play. It's at 17:06. Power play goal from Jordan Kyrou is 22nd of the season from Shen and Falk to make it 3-1. And how did the Hawks respond with that? By scoring a minute and 5 seconds later at 16:01. It's a snipe from Andreas Athanasiou, 10th of the season, from Dickinson and Phillips to make it 4-1. So Phillips with his 4th career point, 3rd career assist. Dickinson with a 3-point night. That's the 4th of his career. And Binnington is out. Grice is in after giving up 4 goals on 7 shots. After the goalie change, St. Louis ups the pressure. Mikkola is stopped. St. Louis just continuous pressure. 6:48, St. Louis tuck-in goal from Ivan Barbashev, 7th of the season, from Kyrou and Thomas to make it 4-2. And the game was starting to get a bit scrummy, as at 5:17, it's a Chicago penalty to Phillips and a St. Louis penalty to Barbashev, each for fighting. They have a tussle as they drop the gloves. And for Phillips being in his first fight, good for him. Had 2/3 of the Gordie Howe hat-trick tonight. And Barbashev, I do believe, had a Gordie Howe hat-trick tonight. He had an assist, he had a goal, and he had a fight. So kudos to Barbashev. Lafferty is stopped. Fight breaks out at the end of the period, but before that, at 4:38, it's a Chicago penalty to Murphy for hooking, which would be killed, which would not be a great call. But there's a bunch of fighting at the end of the period, and in the third, to start the period at 20 minutes, it's Chicago and St. Louis penalties to Lafferty and Buchnevich for roughing. And then St. Louis gets the extra penalty, which would be served by Pitlick for unsportsmanlike conduct, which would be killed. Tyler Johnson's denied twice. Blues are all over the Hawks. And then at 10:45, it's a St. Louis blast. What a shot from the former Blackhawk Nick Leddy. 1st of the season from Parayko and Barbashev to make it 4-3. That'd be as close as St. Louis gets, as Tyler Johnson has a chance that's saved. 3:59, it's a Chicago goal from Max Domi, is now team leading 14th of the season, from Tyler Johnson and Kane to make it 5-3. The Blues pull the goalie at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and they would get a bunch of chances, but Stauber shut him down. So Jackson Stauber, good looks in that. For a guy who's only played 10 games in the American Hockey League this year, he went 6-4. I think it was an .896 save percentage, he said. In his NHL debut, he's already done better than he has done in the minors. So that's going to be all for this BFR today. And then at 6 o'clock today, the Hawks face off with the LA Kings at home. So there'll be another BFR up tomorrow. Since we haven't looked at the standings in a while, let's take a look now. Vegas and Seattle are currently duking it out for the top spot. Seattle actually passed Vegas last night until Vegas beat Washington 6-2, so Vegas moved back up to first. Edmonton moved into the third spot as they've won 6 in a row now. LA drops to the first wild card. Dallas and Winnipeg continuously switching spots as the two best teams in the West currently. Nothing new in the top 6 in here. Pittsburgh moved up to this spot from the Islanders. And Florida, who's on a 7-2-1 tear, they've moved up to within 2 points of a wild card spot. So Florida's finally picking them back up where their expectations should be, which is in the playoffs. And unfortunately, there's going to be some good teams in the East that miss the playoffs once again. The Islanders have kind of fallen off. I mean, not fallen off completely, but they're just losing a lot of games right now. Buffalo is continuously there. The Flyers are 7-3 in their last 10. Detroit, Ottawa, and Montreal and Columbus seem to be the teams out of it, but you never know. A team can go on the run. St. Louis was in last in January in 2019, and they still ended up winning the Cup, so you never know. In the West as well, Calgary moves out of a spot. Nashville has moved ahead of St. Louis. Chicago has moved ahead of both Columbus and Anaheim. We're no longer in the best odds for Bedard, which makes me mad because I want Bedard. I'd rather have this team lose every game this season and have me be in misery just for the better. And I'm fine with that. But that's going to be all I have for you guys. In this one, the Hawks are now 6 out of 7. If they win tonight, 7 out of 8. And at that point, I'm just going to be like, what? But that's going to be all I have for you guys today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I shall see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.